my God.
Happy Halloween, everyone. It is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone.
I love you too.
Yes, I told Robyn, I said, I got a surprise for you. And she's like, what are you talking about?
You're making me start these shows out like cracking up all the time. I swear to God, the last 3 podcasts, I've been welcome to the podcast and I'm busting a gut.
Right.
So how you been, girl?
Good. What's up, everyone?
Give everybody the knee report.
Oh, the knee report. I will definitely give you the knee report. What is up, everyone? This is Tea Time with Robyn. I am T. She is Robyn. What is good? Happy Halloween. It is Dolphins week. And happy Halloween to everyone. So, yes, my knee is doing much, much better. I could now balance on my knee. So that's a plus. So I can balance on it for like 20 seconds now.
Awesome.
And I can do side shuffles and everything. I'm still doing physical therapy. This is the beginning of the show, guys. Don't worry about it. We're gonna get to some football. I know you don't really care
but
about
I had to
knee.
hear the news.
Yes. So I can balance on my knee for 20 seconds, and I'm doing really, really well. So thanks for asking. Who we got? Oh, Sandra is always here with us. What's up? Good morning.
Hi,
Good morning. You. Thank you always showing up, Sandra. We appreciate you for sure. But we're gonna get into this. So I put this stuff on for Robyn. She's like, "Oh yeah, it is Halloween."
I forgot.
And there's a game tonight, which should be fun because one of the teams is definitely.
Don't you think that's a win-win game for tonight for the Bills? Because if the Texans win, the Jets lose, and that's always good to see Aaron Rodgers go down in flames. But if New York wins, that's a loss for the Texans, and the Bills could use that in the conference standings. That would help.
So, yes, we need. Thank you, Sandra. We need the Jets to win tonight. For sure, because we don't have the tiebreaker, right? When it comes to
with the Texans,
Houston, yeah. So we definitely need them to lose.
I'm not if Aaron Rodgers goes down in flames.
I don't care. But I mean, if you can help us out, it would be great. You can't, totally understand it, So, but let's get into this game. So. Again, happy Halloween to everyone. Appreciate this. My kids are going to be trick-or-treating tonight. I am not going this year because, my knee, whatever, but I will be passing out candy. And I'm a candy snob kind of, so I'm going to go and get some more candy because I don't like the candy my wife bought them. So we're not doing that. We're not going to be the house. Don't go to that house. They don't have,
They don't have the good stuff.
Right. We're not doing that. I told her I'll go get the candy, but whatever. She got it anyway. But also too on Sunday it was tight end day, and Dawson Knox and Dawson Kincaid combined for 6 catches and 81 yards. I just thought it was awesome how Josh came out with seeing Dawson in the beginning. But before we get into all of them, I thought it was great. So they went out to Seattle and won 31-10. And listen, you know what I'm tired of? I'm really tired of when the Bills beat a team, they're no longer a great team. Because prior to us going out there and beating Geno and the Seattle Seahawks, they were saying how good he was. He was good in the pocket. They were the number 1 passing offense. But when the Bills beat them, they weren't that good. They weren't a good team anyway. Can let me know where I need to fan. Can I fan? Am I allowed to fan like, oh, they're a good team, we beat a good team, or where are we measuring the Bills at? What say you, Robyn? Like, what's going on? I'm confused.
That's a good question. What are the Bills? Well, they won 3 games. They lost 2 games. They won 3 games. So let's see what happens to the pattern now. I would believe that this game should be motivating enough, the upcoming game against Miami should be motivating enough for the Bills to continue to pursue an aggressive style of play as they have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks game, and let's just like kind of roll into that because that's
Yeah, I love it.
a
Yes.
good segue. The things that I liked about that Seahawks game, I'm telling you, you guys are going to get sick of hearing me say this, but I love our run game, our rushing game. By
Mm-hmm.
being able to run the ball, Josh Allen doesn't have so much pressure on him. And boy, oh boy, what do you think about James Cook? Those holes, our offensive line are opening up for James Cook. Hello,
I love it. I love it.
because
Um,
he's also getting better. Let me just say, he's
mhm.
also getting better at picking. He's picking his holes better instead of just trying to hit everything running. He
His
lets
vision.
Yes, and he lets them set up their blocks. But you watch this offense, and it rises and sets on the running game and on the offensive line. And Aaron Cromer, please, if you look at every game the offense plays, the offensive line has a different game plan,
Right.
just like everybody has it, the whole team has a different game plan. Cromer
Right.
does that. He decides, okay, we have this defensive line we're playing against, so this will work better than this. And they adjust the offensive line, and they don't do the same thing all the time. So they're not quite as predictable as some offensive lines are. Cromer is a genius. And
Yes, he is. He
putting
is.
6 offensive linemen out there a lot like the Bills do, more so than other teams do, Alec Anderson, it's working.
Mm-hmm.
It's paying big dividends, and I think the running game is kind of the engine that's driving our offense. That's what I think.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. I love the fact that our O line every game it seems like they're improving. I know in the beginning of the season they had some hiccups. I guess for me is just you stack, you stack, you stack, and when you stack, your O line gets together. They start moving as a unit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They
Not so
fight
much
for
as an
the
individual, but more of a right. Um, some things that I liked about it is that the Bills controlled the game at the beginning of this game. They had control of the game
right from the
at
get.
the right straight from the beginning. Straight from the beginning, they came out. They were not one and out, 1, 2, 3 out. They came out with
Right.
even the penalties, which we're going to talk about. Even the penalties that they had didn't stop the momentum at all.
That was amazing.
Right?
That was amazing because that's what you would see repeatedly whenever they get into these penalty fest games. And yeah, I do think there's a tremendous difference, and I talked about this before with the refs. Hey, Daryl.
Good morning.
So the refs, the difference between the ref groups and how many penalties they call, honestly, I think that it needs to be standardized a bit. They need to find some more consistency with the refs. And I'm not one that wants to sit on and blame the refs for everything because
Mhm.
the pre-snap penalties, because that's the only thing, we'll talk about it later, but that's the only thing I would ding the offensive line for is the
Yeah.
pre-snap penalties. They got to stop that shit.
Yeah, they do. And I'm pretty sure Sean McDermott is going to talk to them because he's very
He hates
crazy.
pre-snap
Yes,
penalties.
especially the precept penalties. But continue with seeing things that we did like. Keon Coleman,
Yeah,
another awesome. Josh and Keon is
they're getting it.
getting like they're being familiar with each other. More games, like I said, stacking games, getting Josh is getting comfortable. It's trust. You trust there now. Quarterback, wide receiver, they need to trust each other. And Josh went back to Keon when the first opposite side of the red zone, didn't get it. Go right back to you with the same guy, touchdown. Like that trust is establishing there. You see it. You can see it firsthand. I love it. I just do. I do. I think the big factor of that, and I know some will say maybe Amari Cooper is not on the field when some of this stuff is happening, but the him being present is affecting how Keon maybe now playing. Who knows?
Well, yeah, he's not the first look, right? So he can do his thing as well. A couple of things about Keon. First of all, yes, this is like watching a little baby grow right before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing him take this big leap every week. It's getting better and better. Did you hear when Josh Allen said in a press conference this week that, and it was just kind of mentioned casually, and I don't think very many people paid much attention to it, but he said they're spending extra time together after practice?
Oh, good, good, good.
Exactly. Exactly. Really, really good thing. So you're right. Even if Amari Cooper isn't directly part of the offense, he's part of the offense because if he's on the field, you have to account for him. You
Yeah.
absolutely do. But even if he's off the field, look at what his presence has done for Shakir.
Oh my God,
He
Shakira,
went
big game,
off in that game.
big game. And
Big dub.
one thing I wanted to say about go back to Keon real quick is Keon was
Yeah.
playing in the slot too, which was
Yes.
interesting. I loved it. I
Yes.
loved it.
And one other thing I noticed that there was a play, and he wasn't in the slot on that play, but he was man to man matched up,
Hmm.
and he just plowed over.
Yes.
I mean, he knocked him down.
Hmm.
I saw that and I was like,
And that's a veteran cornerback.
yes, yes.
Love it.
And Keon is strong.
Yes.
Okay. He's got strong hands.
Yeah.
And he's a strong man, but when he just bulldozed over that guy, I just cracked up and I thought, "Oh
Yeah.
boy, are
Yeah.
we ever gonna be in for a treat with this guy?" Because I
Yeah.
think he's coming of age.
Yeah. Definitely. Shakir, like you said, a big game from him. I loved Shakir. Every time he catches the ball, it's like yak ability.
Oh,
Like
man.
every time, it's the first guy doesn't get him down. It doesn't get him down. Like he caught the ball and had like 10 yards of yak. I love to see the balance of Shakir. He is amazing to watch. He really
He
is.
is amazing. He's so underrated, and think about this, he's got great hands.
Yeah.
He doesn't drop anything.
Yeah.
He was 9 out of 10? I think he
Yeah.
was. He just catches everything. His hands are just like glue. I think he's very underrated. And when you listen to the game, because you had to love listening to Tom Brady covering a Bills game,
I
right?
know. I know. It's what.
I actually loved it to pieces because you could almost hear it in Tom Brady's voice. Oh, every time he talked about Shakir, it was like, oh, he's got a little Wes Welker in him. He's got a little of this. I mean,
Hmm.
you could tell from his voice, but he really wanted to play with a guy like Shakir. You could
Yeah.
tell. It's
Could
like,
you
I know
imagine
what I could do with him out there,
the
right?
wiggleness of Shakir?
Yeah.
And the Wes Walker was, listen, he was a good wide receiver too.
Well, that's
But
big praise.
yeah, that is when he said it. And to be quite honest with you, I enjoyed Tom
I
Brady
listened
on
to
the
him.
broadcast. I really did. I didn't know how I was gonna, but I have to say, I really did like it. I
I did
did.
too.
I
I did
did.
too, because he also understood the Bills in a way that other commentators, they didn't play for 20 some years or whatever with the Bills, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, Shakir had 107 yards. I mean, this was his breakout game, clearly.
Hmm.
If he needed one. I mean,
Right.
I think what is wrong with the National Football League? What is wrong with the NFL Network? And what is wrong with the national media that they don't pay attention to Shakir?
I just also think it's just Buffalo Bills, to be quite honest, a small
Yeah,
market, and
yeah,
unless you're doing something, but I also believe in the off season you have to create these storylines and these narratives. And
right.
right now, and I don't know why they're not, but again, right now we're not fitting the narrative because going into this season, the window was closed. You remember
We weren't
that?
supposed to even win the division,
The
let alone
window's
be up by
closed,
3.5
right?
games.
And mind me, keep because John had said something about that earlier. The window was closed. We don't have a number one wide receiver. How is Josh going to get these wide receivers open? Like a lot of talk this offseason. And as for if the Jets
Oh,
win, and something that John had said, I heard. Oh, here it is. I heard if the Jets win, the Bills win this week, we have a playoff spot. I think that's too soon. I
that'd be
think
something.
it would be something. Also heard um we can we can win the division by Thanksgiving. My only concern with all of this stuff is I know they won't do it, but also Sean McDermott is a guy that's very keen on always playing at the max, right? Maximum. But if you have a lead so big, so massive, you're going to take your foot off the brake. And I don't want our guys to do that.
Right, but here's one other thing that can happen if you have a massive lead is you get your depth players more experience before the
True
playoffs.
that. True that.
That
But
gives
we
you
have, Robyn, oh man, I don't even have my list up here. We have important games. If we're trying to capture the one seed, and I don't know if we can do that because of right now, the way the Chiefs are playing right now. And once we go to see, I don't know. It's too early for me to start calculating that stuff
too
because
much.
we
We got
are
half the season left.
you gotta let the season play out. We gotta let the season play out. And I just don't want my guys to get complacent. That's it. That's it. Yes, we have a three-game lead, and I want them to dog the hell out of Miami when they come in. And we're going to talk about Miami, but right now we are still on some things that we enjoyed. And let's talk about this defense holding Kenneth Walker the third to 12 freaking
Unbelievable.
yards a game. This game, 12 yards. Robyn,
I
I was
was
worried about
stunned.
him.
I was totally worried about him. I thought he was gonna run all over the top of us.
Yes,
And I don't
12
know what
yards.
happened, but I
12
didn't look at the
yards.
all 22 or anything, but all I could say was, "Wow." Our defensive line was really solid
Out
in
the
this
gate.
right out of the gate, Greg Rousseau, and we're gonna talk about Miami, but you add Von Miller back into the equation, and thank you very much.
Yep,
And
yep,
if
yep.
Terrell Bernard is able to start the game, we'll talk about it. But honestly, the Seahawks game, as you pointed out, you're right. It was right from the get-go. The
Mhm.
Bills set the tone, and I think it in part they got lectured enough because the previous 2
Oh
games
my God.
they were off to such a slow start. Well, whatever the adjustment they made a good adjustment.
They did.
They came out and they just put it to Seattle. In Seattle,
In
very hard
Seattle.
to do. Very hard to do.
In Seattle. And I'm gonna talk about that. But the Buffalo Bills corners were physical.
Yes,
Listen, Douglas, you owe us. You almost had another pick.
he did. That should
He
have been
owe us like 6 picks.
oh,
Rasul, you owe us a pick from last game, 2 picks from the previous game, 2 picks from that game, a pick from that. Like you owe us like 6. I'm not saying, hey,
how
get
about
on
if
the
we
jug
just
machine,
let's have him have 3 interceptions against the Dolphins. That'll
please.
make up
That'll
for
make it up. That would definitely. Ooh, that would make it up. Thank you, thank you.
3.
All right, we got to get into the things that we did not like. Some things that we
Yeah.
did not. Oh my God. I just want the refs to understand it's not about them. It's not about you. It's not about you. I don't need to see your face. I don't need to see that guy with the glasses and his laces with pink. I get it. I know why you're doing it. But I don't need to see you every play.
Good Lord. And again, there's such a stark difference between one referee group to another in terms of what they call. And there's got to be a better way to standardize that because you shouldn't have one referee group tossing 30 flags in a game and another one throwing 10.
it's the balance. Like on the broadcast, they said this was the most penalized game of the season. 24, 13 for us, 13, 12 for, no, 11 for them. Like
It was
that,
crazy.
the game prior to that, the Jets game was 11-11. That was 22. We beat our own record. This is crazy. This is crazy.
It is crazy, and it's one thing that you do have control over. You
Yeah.
do have control over how you deal with different referee groups. You
Yes.
have to pay attention to that. I think Belichick was the first one who actually started scouting the refs and in
Mm.
developing, yeah, because he would say, okay, it's this group of refs that come in and they call holding all the time, they call this all the time, they call that all the time. He was the first one to do that. I mean, hats off to him, because there is very definitely a pattern that exists between different referee groups, and you have to be aware of that. If you're getting a group of refs that are flag happy, then you better pay attention, especially to the pre-snap stuff.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, the
Now, some of the
pre-snaps.
pre-snap, some of that, excuse me for interrupting,
No, you good.
but some of that pre-snap stuff, in fairness, is the location. That stadium is extremely hard to hear. The fans make it that way, even though it was half filled with Bills fans,
Oh
it
yeah,
looked like. But truthfully, it's loud.
yeah.
It's designed to be very loud. So you would expect that there would be more pre-snap penalties, but not
Not
like
like that.
this.
Like what was it? Oh my God, motion. All of it was just. It was a lot. It was a lot. So someone commented on here. Where's I think John. I heard Mike Edwards
Yes.
ask for a trade.
Well, he's been sitting on the inactive list. I don't know what happened, but something happened with him.
So here's what I am hearing for the Mike Edwards situation. Mike Edwards' contract is incentives, and I
Uh,
think incentive base of $2 million.
mm,
And if he hits these incentives, he gets that that base, that money. Also, too, I'm not going to take DeMar off the field when he's not causing me the game. So I'm with you, but also too, Edwards was a backup. And I know when he first came here, he probably was like, "You're going to be a starter." Then everything happened. You got injured, so now you're not knowing the playbook. Which I have Demar here. Demar knows the playbook, so I'm gonna put him in. Continue to stack, and Demar's been playing well. Right, he's not causing the Bills any games. So I'm going to go contract base where it's going to cost me maybe $2 million, where I don't really have anyway. I
mhm,
don't have the money like that anyway. So
mhm,
I'm going, and y'all know that football is a business. It may suck, but it is a business.
mhm,
And him is a business. I want to be traded.
mhm.
So I can understand it. So that's why Mike Edwards is not playing, because it's based on contract, based on money. Sad that it is, but that's what it is. Football is based on, it's a business, it's money. So that's why he's not playing. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't leave, but we'll see. I mean, trade is November 5th, so we will see what happens when it comes to Mike Edwards. I thought it was a great signing, but Demar's not. See where I want to see Demar at. I want to see Demar against the Chiefs, the 49ers, and Detroit.
I just worry about the Chiefs
I
because
do too.
Andy Reid knows any
Oh
weak
yeah.
link, he's going to
Oh yeah.
exploit it.
Oh yeah.
No offense to DeMar, but he is the weak link back there.
No, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
We Bills fans, we know, and I love Demar when they picked him up.
right.
Like, but his ceiling is just so high. It is what it is. Don't
Exactly.
think next when we're sitting right here talking about the Buffalo Bills, April draft, what are we all going to ask for? A freaking safety. We're all going to ask for one. We know we have Bishop. We're going to ask for another safety.
Gotta have
Ask
another
for
one.
another safety. We might get another corner because we don't know what's going to happen with Elam. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen to Douglas because
Or
he's 31.
Milano.
Or Milano. Oh, God, Milano. I love you, but your injury. And not even that. We're going into things that we don't like, and it's the game. But, Bernard gets injured all the freaking time. He's a great player when he's on the field.
Best ability is availability, like McDermott says. And
Yes.
I think they do need to draft another linebacker.
Two.
If
need be. Or trade one. I don't know. Trade for one. So, but anyway, let's get back on. But yeah, they got to clean up the penalties. I mean, I thought the Jets game was bad. Every time I was like, oh, and then you see the yellow thing come up. You're like, oh my God. Why? Not again. But they overcame some penalties. Let me go back to what I did like. I did like they double dipped. I did like the fact they had, I don't know how many seconds in the second quarter. They went down there, scored a touchdown, came back out and scored another touchdown. I love when Sean McDermott does that. Mm-hmm. Nobody talks about when Sean McDermott does things wrong. We are here. You know what, Sean? But when he does some things right, we don't big that up. And I just wanted to big that up.
Big it up, girl.
Yeah, I love the fact that he double dipped. John, what did you say about DeMar? Before we move on to our spill the tea. DeMar is one of the last is on the last season of a rookie contract, I believe. I think so. I think so.
That's right. And I would bring him back as a backup.
Yeah, I would not bring him back as a key starter because I just don't think he is. And no offense to
DeMar. We love him, but let's talk football here.
Yes, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk football. But right now, we're going to talk football, but we're also going to spill some tea.
For me, come on, just spill that. Come on, just spill that. Spill that tea for me. Spill no dirty tea. Yeah, tell me everything. Come on, just spill that.
I'm ready to spill. You spill first, though.
You want me to spill first? Okay, so my spill the tea. Bills Mafia. Listen, you know I come at you when I don't like you. When I say Bills Mafia, I'm talking to myself too. But Bills Mafia, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Us. I wasn't there, but I'm proud of you. I have to give props, man. You guys sound so loud. I'm listening on my own TV, and Tom Brady even said, the broadcast people said that you would have thought this was a home game.
Oh my God.
You guys were loud.
Geno Smith said that.
Yes.
Like, you might not want to say that, but
because they're known as a 12. I don't know what the 12 was because it was us. It was Bills Mafia there. You heard it when Coop caught the ball. You heard Coop. I was like, wait a minute.
I heard that and I was like, oh.
Are we at home?
We got people there. And it wasn't really clear to see because their blue is not that far off from our blue. So you couldn't really see in the crowd, like, where are our people? But they were there.
You heard it.
It was great.
But I just wanted to salute you, Bills Mafia. I get on you. I get on you when you're doing wrong. So I have to get on you when you're doing right.
You bigged them.
Yeah, I bigged you up. So salute to you. Loved it.
So, are we ready for mine?
Yes. Oh, boy.
Well, of course, once again, we have Stefon Diggs in the news. And unfortunately, this news is really bad because his ACL is torn. And he is now in a situation where we know that when he left the Buffalo Bills, he ripped up his contract and agreed to have a one-year deal with the Texans because we all kind of surmised that eventually he wants to go away with his brother with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the decision that he made. And now we're looking for poor Stefan. And I say that seriously because of the situation that he's in at his age, tearing an ACL and expecting to come back in a year. And actually, it's going to take an extra season because the soonest he would be able to come back would be like the middle of next year. And so,
Around this time,
right,
probably, right?
right. And so then, and he's not even going to have a contract, okay, because he's on a 1-year deal. So once,
Right.
once the situation is there, he's a free agent. Well, that's all well and good. However, when your hubris, and I will use the word hubris, interferes with risk benefit ratio, okay, how much risk are you willing to take versus, what benefit are you going to have by doing what
Mm-hmm.
you did? Unfortunately, and people have said this, and we talked about this before you went on the air, he bet on himself. And I get that. I get it. I get that he did it. Other people have done it. Tua is betting on himself right now, that he's going to be able to recoup a lot of his contract. We'll see how long that lasts. But for
Uh-huh.
Stephon Diggs, when you think about just being rational, okay, just being objective, and you look at the decision making that was involved in this process, you have to wonder, oh my God, Stephon, you lost generational wealth that you are probably never going to be able to recover. And that is tragic to me. That's tragic. So my spill the tea is we talked about this. Karma's a bitch.
Mm. So
Sometimes, yeah, go. Because
my
we're gonna have
my
some talk about this.
my pushback is this: betting on your. So I think what he thought was the Bills are no longer catering, and I use the word catering loosely to me. They're going maybe in the opposite direction of what I thought. And you could probably say the way Minnesota kind of did him
Yes.
is kind of what the Buffalo Bills did, right?
Mhm.
So for myself, I'm still good. I still think I'm a number one wide receiver. So yes, I'm going to go bet on myself and I won out. See you later. Besides all that, didn't like the way he handled it, me personally, but yes, bet on yourself because you know that you're still a good wide receiver. You may have taken a step back, but I can still produce. So yes, I'm going to bet on myself. Now 2020 is hindsight, and now you're betting on yourself, and now look what happened. But as a player, yeah, I'm going to bet on myself, because
How they
I've had nothing but production this whole time,
I totally get it. I totally get it. For me, I struggle with the irrational aspect of the decision making in terms of what went into that decision making process. And the I want out, I think in the long run, the Bills are better off. I love Stefan Diggs, but it wasn't working out with Josh for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason.
I just think
And
they all grew each other. But Robyn, I also think that it worked out for the best of them, for the both of them, rather. I
it
think
did.
it worked out because we're Bills fans, so I think it worked out better for Josh because Josh needed to be the focal of this offense. He needed to be the man of this offense.
The
Joe
leader.
Brady said it, the leader, right? Joe Brady said this is Josh Allen's offense, and when you have a person like a Stefon Diggs, and it's just Stefon Diggs, it could have been anybody, right? But Stefon was the wide receiver in this core right now. You need to remove that because you can't have two alphas. You can't have a quarterback and a wide receiver, and if they bump heads like they did,
It'll work.
it's not gonna work. So you had to remove that, and now you see how it's flowing. Even though everybody thought that it wasn't going to flow right, it's right now as we sit here. The offense, it took some bumps, And I've seen this as well. I've seen that when the Bills brought Cooper in, it was Brandon Beane saying I was wrong. But I'll say this: Brandon Beane said in a presser that he didn't think that this. Oh, I want to word right because I don't want to word it to where he said something as I sit here. No, I don't think that our team is complete, and I'm doing verbatim. He didn't think our team was complete, and that's good for a GM to take a step back and say, "Listen, okay, we're missing a piece or two.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I need? And who do I need? And what can I bring in here for Josh, for Keon Coleman to take that next step, for Shakir to take that next step?" Because to be quite honest with you, no disrespect to Matt Collins, no disrespect to you, I just didn't think that was it. Sanders is not what we thought he was. Sorry. He's not producing. I don't know what's going on. Again, I said he should have been on IR and then brought him back, because now he is practicing again. I don't know where that combination fits. Yes, I just don't know what that signing was.
Either. I don't have a handle on it either.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. But but I agree with you about Beane. He corrected his course, right?
Yeah.
Went into the season thinking everybody eats, we'll do this and I'll be fine. Come to realize that was not working because there wasn't anybody who was concerning enough for defenses to be scared about, basically. So it was easy to defend against the Bills in their passing game because there was no fear. You didn't have any verticality. You didn't Keon's
right.
a work in progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I apologize if you can hear my blower. My next door neighbor is leaf blowing as I'm doing a pod, so I apologize. Oh my God,
it was like noise.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I apologize.
That's the bottom line, and all things considered, Beane has done a very good job of course correcting when he's made an error.
Yeah, but you also too, I do believe that they were probably retooling this offense, right?
Well, I wrote an article for the blog about, we're 6-2. Is this really a rebuilding year, or do we need to go for it?
Mm-hmm.
What we started out thinking about the Bills isn't where they're at right now.
Right.
And so we have to recalibrate our expectations. And do we raise our expectations higher? Probably. We probably should.
Did we think we were going to have a run game the way we kind of seen it last season, right? That, okay, James Cook. Oh my God, our O-line. All right, love it. Now that game, the Jets game, and whatever game was that? Titans game. Our running back room is freaking amazing. Did I think Ray Davis is going to be the guy? I love Ray Davis. That pick. First off, we both did. We both love Ray Davis. How did we think he was going to fit in his offense?
He's fitting.
He's fitting very, very well now. Love that James Cook can take some time off because it's a long season and you're going to need all three of those guys.
Speed up.
Yes.
He gets speed up a lot. So it's good to have.
He's tiny compared to Ray Davis. He's tiny compared to
Ty Johnson.
Ty Johnson, right.
Big. And I listened to Ty Johnson was on One Bills Live yesterday. Yesterday. I heard him and I love that guy.
His story is amazing.
His story is amazing and he is amazing. Mm-hmm. He is a team player. He gets it.
But he did say he hated Buffalo.
Yes, he did.
He did. It's only right. You're playing for the Jets, right? He did.
Well, why wouldn't he hate it? Why wouldn't he hate Buffalo? He did not have a good experience playing against Buffalo.
Exactly.
So now he's part of Buffalo.
I love the fact that, his story was, I don't know if he said it on the broadcast. I seen some of it, didn't watch all of it. The Jets told him to get, he had an injury. The Jets told him to, go do the surgery, whatever, and then they cut him. So bad blood there, probably.
Mhm.
Thank you, Jets. Again, Jets, you be jetting.
Screw
I
up
swear
like
to God.
I love it when they screw up.
Yo, oh my God. I just love it. And you guys are on tonight, and I love it. I'm just going to sit back, probably watch with some popcorn, enjoy the show. Aaron Rodgers give me so much delight. I'm not going to lie.
I
I'm not
can't
going
wait.
to lie.
I
I
can't
love you,
wait.
Aaron. So, but moving on, we are home against Miami on Sunday at 1:00. It's a home game. Tua is back. They are coming off a loss against the Cardinals because
Heartbreaker.
I watched that game and went back and watched that game and was like, how did you lose that game?
Oh my Lord. Yeah. And they haven't won since 2016 in Buffalo.
Right. Yes. And they are 2-6, third in the AFC East standings.
And I got one other one for you. On fourth down, I heard this from Locked On Bills.
Oh, thank you.
On fourth down,
Wait, you got to read that one. Hold on.
I'm in heaven. Two women. I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, back to my stat.
Yes, go ahead.
Miami is 2 out of 15 attempts on fourth down. 2 out of 15.
But wait, the Jets?
Miami.
Miami. Okay. Really?
2 out of 15 on fourth down. Now, I want to say this because what is fourth down? Fourth down is the down where it's you against them.
Yeah.
And you got to get 2 yards. You got to get 2 yards. So what this says to me is, they don't really try that hard. They're gritty, but they ain't gritty enough.
You know what I heard? So this will be the first time that Jordan Poyer comes back to Buffalo and to see his,
Yes.
And I'm hearing Jordan Poyer is not having a great season.
He's not.
He's been injured on and off. And you know how I feel about former guys that leave and come back. Jordan Poyer is beloved here in Buffalo. Beloved.
Rightfully so.
Yes, I hated that he went. He chose to go to Miami. Micah Hyde said, "No, I will not go there." Thank you, Micah. Thank you, Micah. We love you. We love you, Jordan. We do.
We do. I'm sad for him. I'm sad
but
for
we're going to whoop your ass, Jordan.
This is another thing about Bean that's so smart. He knows when it's time to say time.
Yes.
I mean, look at what's going on with Trey White.
That was my next point. I cried. Robyn, do you understand? I don't really get too emotional when it comes to guys. Like Trey White's my guy. Cornelius Bennett, that's because he's my cousin, so he's my guy. Trey White, Ray Davis, and Devin Singletary. Love Devin Singletary too. But Trey White, I am hearing that he can go and seek a trade if he wants to, and I'm like, oh, what just happened here?
He fell off a cliff.
Oh my God.
I watched a game that he was in early in the season, and I don't even remember who it was against, but he looked like a shadow of himself.
He did. He got beat twice. I don't know who that was either because I did see it because they were talking about it on the broadcast, and I was just like, oh. And then he went to the bench, Robyn, and he just put his head down. And I'm like, that's not the Trey White I know.
Oh my God.
That's not Trey. Oh my God. I was just like, I can't.
It's so sad.
Not my wife. You know what? That might be, now that I'm thinking about it, that might be my wife out there blowing the leaves.
Oh, anyway. Hey, Lilani.
I'm gonna kill her. But yeah, fall from grace for sure. And I don't like it. I don't like it.
Unfortunately, it's the reality of the NFL, and you're not for long. is what it stands for,
It
and
is. It is.
it's
It
it's
is.
the truth. So it makes me, when I see these kind of things, I get emotional as well. But I also think about, I really want to appreciate and enjoy every moment we have with Josh Allen, because he is such an exceptional person. He is such an exceptional quarterback. We are blessed to have him as our quarterback. And for as long as we have him, we should enjoy him,
For
because
sure.
you never know when you're going to fall off a cliff. You never know when your ACL is going to tear. You never know when that
Hmm.
kind of stuff happens, because that
Right.
is the reality of the not for long league.
I mean, it's 100% you'll be injured for sure
Yes.
in this game. Let's get back to Miami. They have some. We all know about their weapons. We play this team often. Often, I'll say this: the last time they played each other, they didn't have Tyron Johnson. Josh hurt his hand the first game against the Cardinals, so he was wearing the glove. So that's the first time he wore his glove. It was the first time he played again after he hurt his hand. Smoop didn't play; he was ruled out because of his toe. Also, Solomon didn't play either. So
Hmm.
again, we are getting Vaughn back, which is great. Vaughn had a sack in that game. Definitely a different two different teams coming into this game. The last game we had a lot of injuries. This game, Miami's having a lot of
Oh
injuries.
my, on
So
defense, they're decimated.
yeah, they
Their
are.
defensive line is not
It
truly the
wasn't good
best.
then.
No, but it's
It's
really,
definitely
they got no pass rush. They got
yeah,
no pass rush. So Josh should eat.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and we'll see what Josh does, because Josh likes to play the Josh, after all, Josh is
Yes, their daddy for sure.
their dad.
Sandra, I am not putting that comment up because we don't talk about that stuff in this space. Okay, we do the woosah, and we don't talk about stuff like that. Okay, all right, okay, all righty. Um, Thomas said, looks like the Buffalo Bills will be the only team from the AFC East to make it to the playoffs.
If things go the way they are, for sure. And
Hmm.
the AFC, nobody who predicted that this would happen.
Nobody, because they did predict it. But they predicted it be switched. They thought Miami was going to be where the Bills are, and the Bills are going to be where Miami is. They predicted it, but they just had the teams wrong.
Even if Miami came in and beat the Bills in Buffalo on Sunday,
It
they
still
would
doesn't mean
be
anything.
they would be it would be so hard, because the second half, I looked at their schedule, the second half of their schedule is much harder. So they're 2-5 with the easy part of their schedule behind them.
Hmm.
So the
So
likely
they were guaranteeing to get like stack wins in the beginning of their season because they knew the back end of their season was going to be hard. I mean, the back end of our season is hard too, but it's not. It's not that we can't win games. I mean, our next game is Indy. After that is the
Kansas City.
Chiefs. And then we have a bye. Going off the bye, we have the 49ers. So these are games that we like ultimately
These are
like
tough.
the only game that I am like, ugh, of course, Kansas City and the 49ers. Right now, the 49ers has injuries
They do.
because I think McCaffrey comes back when we play, but
Mm,
Ayuk is out. He's out for the season. So
right.
listen, injuries is part of the
The deal.
of the deal, but you know how that goes. But I also look forward to this game on Sunday. I cannot wait for Miami to get their asses taken to them because I cannot.
Tradition.
Yeah, it's tradition. It's tradition. We have to continue with tradition now.
Tradition.
Yes, for sure.
Josh Allen is their daddy.
And he wants their gifts when they come see him. He wants their
Yeah.
gifts. Give them
Yeah.
their gifts now.
Come on.
But guys, thank you always tuning in to Robyn and I. We enjoy doing this each and every Thursday at 11 o'clock on the Building Buffalo Network. So if you don't know, go over there and check out the Building Buffalo Network. They have amazing content Monday through
Amazing.
Sunday. And if you haven't gone and checked us out on Not Your Average Podcast in the 716
Yes.
YouTube channel, go over there and click it. You'll see us. You'll see this again. We're there. So go
Yeah.
over there and check us out.
Yes.
But before we go, happy Halloween.
Go
And
Bills.
always, thank you, Thomas. Go Bills. And always, it's always,
Go
if I can find it, go Bills. Peace, y'all.
Love.